Just
video
everything. Yes.
sensations. That's a good question. Did the Warriors meet expectations? I think they surpassed them a little bit. Going to the second round, especially with how they looked early in the year, getting Jimmy Butler, I think winning a playoff series was probably the goal.
Yeah. I think they maximized what this season was. I'm very curious to see what it looks like next year because I think this offseason is going to look real curious for them or just real intriguing for them. But yeah.
I think they're kind of screwed long term, though. We were talking about this the other day with the Kings.
Like long term post Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So we are talking about with the Kings and the lottery and all that. Somebody in the chat, or a couple of people in the chatty house were saying, is there a team that's worse off over the next 3 years right now than the Kings in the West? It's like I kind of think Golden State is. Now here's what I'll say. Let's eliminate the next 3 years aspect of this because I'm done doubting what Steph Curry is and will do and how long he's going to play.
Okay.
He's magnificent. So I'm just going to not put a lid on it.
Yeah, as long as Steph Curry is around and the Warriors add pieces, like just solid pieces around him, like I'm always going to think they have a chance.
So here's why I think Golden State is cooked in the post Steph Curry era. Joe Lacob, in an article, I believe it was in The Athletic. I read a couple different things today, so apologies. I will find the correct article and make sure to attribute this properly. Here's what he said. Quote, our drafts were not bad at all. These guys are very young. They've had to fit into a very difficult situation with experienced players. It's not like they can just go out and put up numbers. So I think we've drafted very well. We've got some good young players.
Okay, can I answer this quote or ask a question?
Yeah, please.
So is he expecting these young players to just step up once the other guys are gone, or?
Yes. The start of that quote was that next year there's going to be a leap from the young guys. Let's just run through this. It's Brandon Podziemski, who at the start of next season is 22 years old. I think Brandon Podziemski is a really good player. I don't think he's ever going to be an all-star.
Feels right.
Okay. All right. Jonathan Kuminga will be 23 at the start of next season. He's also a restricted free agent who may or may not be around.
Jonathan Kuminga, I would be shocked if he's still a Warrior next season.
I'd be stunned. Unless they're going to uproot their entire offense and cater it toward him, which they're not going to do as long as Steph Curry's on the team. I can't imagine he's still around unless Joe Lacob just puts his foot down and says, no, to hell with that. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be a Warrior.
And I think that'd be a mistake as well.
We'll see. Moses Moody's 23 years old, and for some reason just can't crack the regular rotation.
Yeah, watching from the outside looking in on the Warriors, it's kind of like seeing you guys like, hey, Moody. Oh, no. Moody? No.
Oh, hey, he's cooking.
Yeah.
Good last 10 games. Oh, no, now he's out of there.
It's only ever been just lapses.
It's so weird. And then Quentin Post and Trace Jackson-Davis are both 25 at the start of next year. I don't think any of those guys are going to be all
players at best.
Your best shot at an all-star there is Jonathan Kuminga, who may or may not be on the team. And that disconnect, I believe that after Steph Curry and Steve Kerr and Draymond Green and everybody are gone, I think you're going to see Joe Lacob. Like we talk a lot about Vivek Ranadive up here and his meddling in basketball affairs, right? We talk about that all the time. I think that's going to be Joe Lacob, but to a massive, massive extreme. Where
it's even worse.
Yes. And I don't trust his basketball acumen whatsoever.
I don't want to take away all the credit in the world, but do you think that he's in a way just been eating off of Steph, Clay, just this whole era for so long where he's kind of been able to just do whatever because of those guys?
I don't want to say that necessarily.
Yeah, maybe that's an extreme way to put it, but
because he's shelled out the money.
Yeah.
He's given Steve Kerr a very long leash. He tried to retain Bob Myers and couldn't. They're not here. I don't think, at least at the level they reached without Joe Lacob, because you might have run into an owner that was like, I'm not paying all that tax. I'm not doing all that.
And I mean more in a sense where like, yeah, he's been kind of meddling maybe, or just kind of having his hands in the cookie jar, but like Steph and all these guys are here, so we're winning. So you don't really pay attention to it, you know?
Yeah, that's what the last, 5 years it felt like. Where it's very much two sides. That's what it feels like anyway. Again, I'm very much on the outside.
Yeah.
Just from reading tea leaves and stuff. That's kind of what it feels like. The vibe I get is that post Steph Curry is going to be really, really dark times in Golden State. I don't buy into the idea that like, oh, they're just going to fall backwards into a Luka Doncic like talent, just like the Lakers. I don't think they're that. They've had a really nice run, but this is not a franchise that is like the Lakers, who have been popular forever and have been winning forever, or the Celtics, who have been popular forever and winning forever. They've been really awesome across a 10 or so year stretch.
How people talk about the Sacramento Kings all the time is how people used to talk about the Warriors before Steph and those guys got
Yeah,
here.
they were a joke.
Yeah, you were getting free tickets anywhere you could get them, Oakland Library, whatever.
Yeah, they had the We Believe season.
Yeah.
And then that's at least in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. All my friends growing up in the Bay Area were Kings fans because the Kings were awesome when we were 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Nobody rocked with the Warriors.
Yeah, like the Warriors aren't this historical franchise that's been a perennial winner, even just had a bare minimum like playoff type sustained success.
So that's where I don't, and I could definitely be wrong on this, but when I look at where Golden State is at now and just reading some of the tea leaves with their ownership, I think they're in trouble. At least long term.
I agree with that. Long term, what do you think it looks like with Jimmy and Steph next season? I'm kind of looking at Kuminga as the guy where maybe there's a GM around the league where it's like he just doesn't have the right opportunity there, and he could be a star for us here.
That's what it looked like.
And like we'll give up something for that. I think that the Warriors definitely need a third guy next to Steph and Jimmy if they're gonna maximize this window.
I'm sorry, real quick. What Kuminga news did we miss?
I don't think we missed anything. It was what you mentioned earlier about how he's going to be a free agent.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought
we went off the air for a second. You made the face. I was like, oh no.
Well, I just saw this text a while from a while ago that was talking about
false alarm. False alarm. We're good.
Could have just completely. Okay, we're good.
We're good.
I surrendered for a second there. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's my bad.
That was terrifying.
What'd you
so
ask
scary.
Me? I was talking about Jimmy and Steph. They need a third guy to maximize Steph's last window. Like, what do you think you can get trading Kuminga?
Okay, so this is where it would have to be a sign and trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he doesn't make that much right now.
Yeah, and I don't know that I don't know if he would be amenable to that. I don't know if another team would be amenable to that. Like they could just sign the guy.
Yeah.
And not have to give up an asset for
No, yeah, like.
So I don't know exactly.
If you're the Warriors,
I don't know that Joe Lacob will let him. That's my question. I think Joe Lacob loves Jonathan Kuminga. I think Joe Lacob was watching these playoffs and was like, successful playoffs because look at what JK did in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, that's an issue because he clearly just doesn't fit with this group right now for what I think what the player he wants to be.
It's not a coincidence that he fits when Steph Curry doesn't exist anymore, and their offense is like, hey, we need anyone to just create a shot. It wasn't ball movement. It wasn't motion. It wasn't dribble handoffs. It was, all right, Jonathan Kuminga is going to ISO, and he's going to athlete his way to the basket, which he did very effectively. He was awesome. I just don't think they're going to play that style.
Draymond Green is a lifer as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, yeah. The fact that they signed him to that 4-year, $100 million deal a couple years ago, you've committed now.
Was that a mistake?
There's no, yeah, probably. At least I think so. Just given what I think they need, he's still really good defensively.
Yeah.
But is that? We all see it. I don't think the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore, man. And I think it's going to be a bigger problem than a solution, if that makes sense.
No, I agree with that.
So, anyways, the Warriors are in a spot that's not great. And so when we're talking about the next 3 or 5 years,
you better enjoy them, pal. As long as Steph Curry's there, enjoy it.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best.